change the laws. And I see people making uncanny comparisons with Paul Kagame, my good friend Ibrahim Traoré. And I say, some of these folks are operating in a slightly different environment, where their word is obeyed instantly, without question.
Hello and welcome to Van TV Media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends to get daily updates.
Hello guys, welcome back into our platform guys. Ibrahim Traoré is the only guy whom we used to talk about. The spirit of Ibrahim Traoré is moving all over the world, all over the Africa. Most leaders here in Africa are used to engage on what Ibrahim Traoré is trying to do here in Burkina Faso. So guys, we've seen most different presidents in Africa are coming up with the spirit of Ibrahim Traoré, whereby you can see most of the African presidents, some of them are coming up with the system of Ibrahim Traoré to make sure that their countries are no longer being oppressed by the colonialism or by the West. Let us talk about the president of Botswana, Boko. Botswana, there was a briefing. He was talking about the developments of Africa and development of his country, and mentioned the only president whom people in Africa are admiring for, who is Ibrahim Traoré. Boko said that in Africa there is no president whom we can compare with Ibrahim Traoré. Ibrahim Traoré is the only man. Ibrahim Traoré is the total man whom whenever he says something, does. He never said any policy, introduce any policy. He used to fulfill those policies, other than all other African leaders whom they just talk and live.
Change the laws. And I see people making uncanny comparisons with Paul Kagame, my good friend Ibrahim Traoré. And I say, some of these folks are operating in a slightly different environment, where their word is obeyed instantly, without question. It's a different environment. You say, this guy is not doing things. Traoré is doing them. Traoré wakes up, dreams them up. Following morning, he makes a pronouncement. It is law. It is policy. Action follows. And I wake up and I say stuff, they look at me and say, what is this man talking about? We need to take it through this stage and that stage and put it to tender, float the tender. It takes 2 years, then we evaluate, then there are complaints, and there's an interdict. We wait another 4 years. By that time, you have to go and account to the people, and they remove you. Those who came before me did not fail because they didn't have ideas. They did. Maybe even better ideas. They just didn't implement them. Why? Because perhaps they failed to appreciate that the structures that are in place are not properly suited to the attainment of quick action. So you need to subvert some of these rules and processes unapologetically. And I will do it. Let me tell you here and now. I will. Within the confines of the law, and I know it. If there's anything I know, it's the law. That's all I know, really. So I will, within the law. tell me to flight a tender, take 2 years to procure some much needed service, I'm not going to waste anybody's time with that. I'm going to take the quick route, as the crow flies, straight on to action. And I'll take fire from politicians. That's what I'm always ready for. I like it. I enjoy, I relish the fire. But I will do what is good for the people. For any industry that must drive and power this economy, we're going to do it together. So, with the ideas that you will churn out and channel to the government, which will be well thought out, informed by your experiences, we will then shape policy, develop our laws, and make the environment conducive to your doing the business that you so passionately love. There's another angle. When I broached the subject of a living wage of 4,000, one of the members of one of the business people said, we've gone beyond what you suggest. We've actually introduced a system by which our employees can also acquire some stake in the business and become part owners, shareholders in some shape or form of the business. Very interesting proposition. As a tool to manage, when they are invested in the business themselves, and they know that if they go on strike, they are affecting their own profits, as it were, or dividends, I don't think they'll be quick to strike. And so we can deploy this as a management strategy, actually, if we are not committed to the principle that at least it will manage our industrial relations. There will be no conflict. But there are other compelling reasons for the living wage, advanced by scholars and economists. What is it that we can do about these problems? How should we resolve them? Very critical. And when we engage at this level, respectfully, we listen to every voice, every view and viewpoint, and try and understand what the merits of each proposition are. And we engage with those merits, identify any demerits, blend, harmonize these different variegated views and viewpoints, the better for us to come to some common position, a common center of consciousness. It's not about blueprints. And politicians, when they stand up in parliament, they present some assumed gospel truth, lacking hermeneutic humility, the ability to appreciate that whatever you say is capable of revision and critique. This is what it's about. That is why we must always be humble. Whether you are president or whatever you think you are, you've got to be humble and listen to the other person, because they may actually hold a fragment of the truth which you can bring into your own stance to fortify it. And this is what leadership represents. That humility There is no way in which you can not be humble. On what basis, really? That you can refuse to listen to other people. And I bring in the third of the pleas that I've heard today. There used to be a tourism pizza that for some strange reason fell into obsolescence. It now is no longer taking place. You want it back. You are demanding. You frame it as if you are pleading and begging. You were not begging. I heard the undertones. You were demanding. And that demand is acceded to here and now. And don't thank me. I'm not doing anybody any favor. In fact, I'm doing myself a favor, if you look at it. By agreeing to hold this pizza, I'm allowing myself to be informed, to be guided, to be educated, to be schooled by people who know. And so how would I refuse? Why would I not take you up on this offer to school me, to train me, to educate me as the experts? I take you up on your offer, and I accept it readily.
Also, Bokos mentioned and supported Ibrahim Traoré on democracy, whereby he said democracy is the main cause of all problems here in Africa, because democracy was brought by the whites. Democracy was brought by the people who are from the different continent, from different countries in Western countries. So Boko said that we Africa, whenever we want to succeed, or whenever we want to control our nation, we are supposed to do away with democracy, because democracy is the mother of oppressing we Africa. Most countries who are participating, who are engaging in democracy, they are poor. Most countries here in Africa, most so countries, whenever the country is participating in democracy, is poor, simply because these people, or these leaders who they term themselves that they are ruling through democracy, these leaders are being used by the oppressors, are being used by the whites, whereby whites come in, talk to them and confuse them. Later they take away all the resources that are found in Africa. So Ibrahim Traoré is the only man who is hovering around, is the only man who spreads the truth, and is the only man who will make Africa to prosper, who will make changes in Africa, who will do away with the colonialism, who will brought in Pan-Africanism. These things, or this decision has also been decided by this president of Botswana, Boko. So guys, as we are in Kenya, in Kenya, as for me, I'm in Kenya, we pray for this president Ibrahim Traoré, his spirit to move, everywhere in the Africa, so that Africa can get away in the hands of whites. African can get away from the hands of oppressors. And we are happy with this guy, and we are supposed to support this guy and protect him, so that can come up with another ideas on how we can control our countries, on how we can control our nation, on how we can get our nation into one nation, whereby we can use our we can use one currency, we can use even one language. We can be able to move each and every country without feeling that or without having visa. We just move, like for me, moving from Nairobi to Mombasa without being asked anything. So we are supposed to support this guy and make sure that all African leaders are supposed to back this guy, and we Africa, we will prosper. We Africa, we will see the fruits of this idea of Ibrahim Traoré. And guys, remember, if you've not subscribed to our channel, just subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so that in case I do upload any story, you'll be the first one. Guys, share to your friend and share to your relative, and also ask them to do what? To thumbs up the video and turn on the notification bell, guys. And let us meet in the next episode.